definition, flood refers to a natural disaster, or can be said specifically that is the condition or quantity of water that is excessive and inundated in particular area. The condition of water that is submerged and excessive in an area is due to the frequency of frequent rainfall in Malaysia. The majority of the areas affected by the floods are in the East Coast Malaysia, especially the four states that occur frequently every year, namely Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, and Perak. Sarawak is the state that receives the most rainfall because this area is humid and can cause floods in certain areas, especially rural areas. Floods has a huge impact on society from the political, economic, and social aspects, also daily activities of society such as economic loss, destruction of flora and fauna, habitats, and loss of life. For the objective is to identify the causes of floods in Kuching, Sarawak. Secondly is to study the impacts of flood in Kuching, Sarawak. And number 3 is how to overcome the floods in Kuching, Sarawak. So the problem statement is Kuching, Sarawak experiences floods every year because the area receives too much rain so that the sea level rises. The drainage system is also not maintained due to human activities like throwing garbage into the drain as well as disposing of toxic waste. The repair of the drainage system is not being possible simultaneously in flood conditions, including with unsustainable development. This human activity does not do any research on the construction of development in a systematic way that causes contributors to floods. The community suffer the loss of property and lives, also one of the problems they experience during the flood. Significance of research. To find out is more about floods that occur in Kuching. And secondly is to know what are the things that cause floods to happen and whether the community in Kuching was affected by the floods, and also to know the ways to overcome the floods from occurring again. Methodology. Number 1 is research design. Refers to the use of highly effective means to achieve a study goal with minimal cost. The study is conducted by a survey in which the researcher will use quantitative and qualitative data taken from questionnaires and interviews with respondents. Purpose of using this method is to obtain clearly and more accurate information from the respondents. Number 2 is research location. This study is conducted in Kuching, Sarawak, where there's have so many issues with floods nowadays. Population and sample. The researcher took the community that had experienced flood disasters either in the short or long term in Kuching, Sarawak area as one population. The sample is a small group from a part of the population that is the target of the researcher in making the study, and has taken a total of 30 samples in this study. So for the sampling technique is, in this study, the researcher decided to use non-probability sampling, which is purposive sampling and quota sampling. Purposive sampling was chosen because in this study, the information studied has been said that is about the flood disaster experienced by the community of Kuching, Sarawak. The researcher can make judgments based on the knowledge and survey of the study to select the respondents who experienced it. The quota sampling technique, where the researcher has set a total of 30 samples, will be taken as respondents who will answer the questionnaire in this study.
For data type, researcher use quantitative and qualitative data. Data collection will be done through questionnaire and sources that obtained from internet. Besides that, interview session conducted by researcher will giving the questionnaire to the respondent to obtain the information in this research. We also use research method from internet sources such as journal and report and many more. Data analysis method. We use data that has been collected, processed by editing and checking, and then be analyzed using Microsoft Excel. We present the data using bar graph, pie chart, and table with description. Qualitative data is presented in the form of bar graph, chart, and description, while quantitative data is present in the form of table. Research ethic is a branch of philosophy based on the concept of morality. Researcher is responsible for ensuring the issues that relate to research ethic and procedure are conducted and reported transparently. Researchers also need to conduct their research in a way to protect in interest of the respondent, ensure that respondent volunteer to participate. Research finding. Firstly, demography of respondent. In this research, we have 30 respondents. The respondent age is between 20 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, and 40 and above. We can see that the respondent age between 20 to 25 is the highest, and the lowest is age between 26 to 35. For the area, there are 10 areas from the analysis of respondent, which is the higher area is Sato Kuching, 30.30%, and the lower area is in Samaria, Kota Sentosa, and Stampin had a similarity of 3.3% equal to one respondent. Thirdly, we can see from the pie chart, 60% respondents are female and 40 respondents are male. The rest of respondents are Malay, India, Chinese, Melanau, and Iban. The highest rest of respondents are Malay, which is 86.7%. Lastly is the religion. There are three of religion, which is Islam, Christian, and Buddha. And in this pie chart show that the 30 respondent is Muslim.
For the drainage system does not follow the set standards, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 56.7% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 6.7%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that the drainage system did not follow the set standards caused the flood. For continuous drains, the percentage who agree is higher, which is 63.3% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 3.3%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that continuous drains caused the flood. For disposal of garbage into drains, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 50% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 2.7%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that disposal of garbage into drains caused the flood. For reverse sedimentations and erosions, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 53.3% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 13.3%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that the reverse sedimentations and erosions caused the floods. For the process of urbanizations, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 56.7% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 13.3%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that the process of urbanizations caused the flood. For damage to water dams, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 55.2% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 3.4%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that damage to water dams caused the flood. Next is the impacts of floods in Kuching. For damage to public property, the percentage who strongly agree is higher, which is 60% compared to the percentage who is disagree, which is as low as 3.3%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that the floods give damage to public property. For causes death, the percentage who is agree is higher, which is 40% compared to the percentage who is strongly disagree, which is as low as 6.7%. This shows that the most of the respondents agreed that the flood caused death.
Causes a great losses of community economic system. Based on graph above, for the aspect of the impact, which is a great losses of community economic system, most of the respondents, which is 19 respondents, equivalent to 63.3%, that strongly agree, while a total of 11 respondents, equivalent to 36.7%, agree with the above statement. Meanwhile, none of the respondents disagree with this. Second one is increased government spending, which is medicine, treatment, food, and beverage. Based on graph above, as many as 66.7%, representing a total of 20 respondents, states strongly agree that some of the impact of floods in Kuching result in increase of government spending, such as medicine, treatment, food, beverage. Moreover, a total of 10 respondents, equivalent to 33.3%, agree, while none of the respondents disagree with the statement. Third one is a higher risk of getting sick and starving. Based on graph above, most of the respondents, which is 16 respondents or 53.3% out of the 30 respondents, strongly agree that floods in Kuching cause high risk of getting sick and starving. 12 respondents, equivalent to 40%, pick agree, and 2 respondents, which equivalent to 6.7%, pick disagree. As for strongly disagree, none of the respondents select this option. The fourth one is affect psychology. Based on graph above, the result of the study showed that 36.7%, equivalent to 19 people, respondent agree, and 63.3% strongly agree, equivalent to 11 people, respondent that one of the impact of flood is effect to psychology. This is because it will disrupt the emotional and physical of the community. Cause environmental and water pollution. Based on graph above, for the aspect of the next effect, which is environmental and water pollution, a total of 20 respondents, which is equivalent to 66.7%, state strongly agree, while a total of 10 respondents, which is equivalent to 33.3%, agrees with the above statement.
Another impact of floods in Kuching that received a majority vote on strongly agree is major road had to be closed, with a percentage of 63.3% out of total 30 respondents. Next, as you can see in the slide shown here, is all the ways that we put in the survey of floods in Kuching. 5 ways that received many responses is first, improve the drainage system, in which 73.3% out of 30 respondents are strongly agreed, followed by the second highest chosen ways, which is make initial preparation after flood warning notice is issued, with 63.33% strongly agreed and 33.3% agreed. Next is effort to deepen the river, clean the drain, and give fines to people who throw the garbage, in which all of these recorded 53.3% on strongly agreed. Last but not least, we also put in an open question for our respondent on what is their suggestion for pre-floods preparation in the future. From the result of study, we found 29 answers in this section, in which majority of the answer is by building flood diversion channel or tunnel. This is being implemented in Kuala Lumpur, where the Stormwater Management and Road Tunnel, also known as SMART project, has become a viable and innovative solution. The SMART system, when completed, will alleviate flooding in the Kuala Lumpur city centre by diverting large volumes of flood water from entering the city centre. The tunnel is designed to incorporate a stormwater channel and a motorway for dual purposes.
In conclusion, the flood in Kuching caused by many factors, such as the drainage system does not follow the set standard and continuous trend. Flood had bring impact to community in Kuching, which is damage to public property, cause a great losses of community's economic system, property damage, and cause environment and water pollution. Some way to overcome the flood, which is improving the drainage system, controlling logging activity, and make initial preparation after the warning notice is issued.